door number 3 completed. So on that bottom, it's just that wood down there is kind of half rotten and there's not much for it to hold on to. So I took that black stuff. It's just what do you call it? On a baler, the band, I can't think of it, but we had, I think the neighbor replaced his bands on his baler a while ago. We got a couple rolls of it. That's kind of handy for stuff. I don't know how long that is, 6 inches wide or so, pretty thick rubber. So I put that on there just to kind of hold that plastic face onto there better, so that can't peel up. That should hold. I was gonna put a piece of angle iron on there, but like I said, that wood's so rotten, there's nothing for it to really hold. As I kind of redo the whole door, which I don't really feel like doing. So we'll see how long that holds up. But no, it turned out, hopefully the inspector's happy with it. They all turned out all right, I think. But like cows, they walk past it every single day, twice a day. So they'll get wrecked again sooner or later, but it'll work for now. So one other project I needed to do was this window in the barn here. We got these whatever gears that handles that open and close them. But this gearbox is shot on this one. It just won't turn. I mean, it turns, but something's broke. It's just totally loose. And I took that window off because it just gets so hot in here otherwise with just one window open during milking. When we milk, we open both up because the air comes through here nice and it's a lot more comfortable. But I got to replace that gearbox, and I was able to get one ordered. But here, like usual, it's the opposite side, so I had to reorder that. Hopefully that should be back in here in a couple of days and get that fixed. But other than that, that's about it for right now. Oh, we got the vet coming out here pretty quick. Need to do a surgery on a cow, so I would assume he should be pulling in here soon. I haven't got a call yet. So we'll find something else to do until then. I think Sarah's working from home today. She's going to take some PTO and come out and film it, I think. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how camera shy Jamie is, but I think he'll let us do it. She's better at asking questions and stuff. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
12 years, and not long after I went on my own clinic, there was a streak where I had like 4 people
pass out.
2 of them were at the clinic. One was, we were showing a guy how to give his dog subcutaneous fluids. He was sitting there watching. Awesome. Oh boy.
So
he just caught him before his head hit the floor. One was a high school girl that wanted to go to vet school someday, so she was going to watch how to do this.
That was here.
I remember that one. This was on a dog. We were sewing up her dog, and all of a sudden,
This was when I was probably probably 10 years ago almost. But the younger girl, probably in high school, she was standing here watching this. It was kind of, was it summer or not? It was kind of warmer out, but she was watching it and she was shadowing you or something. And also, she didn't hit the ground, but also she's like, I'm getting kind of woozy or something. And you went and grabbed her quick and set her outside.
that's right. I
I
forgot
remember
about
who that was though.
Because so that I had those 2. That girl actually tipped over the clinic and kind of hit her head in the cupboards. But then I had one where I was doing a hernia surgery on a calf at a place, and we were.
So I didn't want to video too much because I mean, he's literally elbow deep inside of a cow, pulling the stomach out, stitching her up, surgery. So it's called a DA. Most commonly, what do you say, within like 5 weeks of calving?
Maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and this one was 3 weeks.
She was right at 2 weeks.
Okay, just kidding. She was right at 2 weeks. So Jamie Licky is who was here. He's wonderful. He spent, so I saw him pull in, but I was on a phone call for work and didn't go out there right away. I bet he spent an equal amount of time sanitizing, disinfecting, and scrubbing up than he actually did on the surgery. So like, gets it as sterile as he can, sterilizes all of his equipment. But the surgery itself, 10 minutes, and then stitching her back up probably another 15, but it goes really quickly, most often because DAs come from food, right, what they're eating. Yeah,
Lack of eating.
so most important part of, you know, dairy farming is we work with a nutritionist. Is he out bi-weekly? Yeah. So really important on what you're feeding the animals to make sure that this doesn't happen. How many do you think we have a year?
4 or 5.
So Jamie just told us when he started 12 years ago, he was doing like 400 a year. And he said now he does like 2 to 5 a month. So getting a lot less because people are feeding higher quality feed. Modern medicine is simply advanced, so vets are out, nutritionists are out, they're just kind of keeping up on all that. What antibiotic did she get?
Exceed.
So she gets that behind the ear, in the fat pocket behind the ear, and that's like a slow releasing antibiotic, right? Or long lasting?
Long lasting, yeah.
So that should hopefully prevent her from getting sick. I asked right away, like her, you know, the side of her stomach, it's open and it's obviously in a dairy barn. So I asked about, you know, infection, and he said that usually with cattle, it's very low. He sterilized everything as much as he could. You shave all the hair off, so that's all shaved off. And then he put like a liquid bandage on it. It kind of looked like silver spray paint. And so there was one thing for flies, bugs, and then the outside layer, like a liquid Band-Aid. What am I missing about this process? Numbed her. Like I sat there the whole time, she didn't flinch at all. The dog ran by once and we had to spook her out because it kind of scared her, but she did not move. It didn't seem to cause any discomfort or any pain. So you guys did a sedative and then lidocaine?
Yeah, the lidocaine around where the cut
Where the
is.
incision is?
So he'll kill it.
What am I missing about a DA? Triggered by lack of, like you caught it by what? Her collar, and then you started monitoring her?
Yeah, she got kind of a slow start, and then she was doing all right for about a week to 5 days, and then last night her rumination dropped some, and her bag was a little empty, so I gave her some dry hay, and she kind of was eating it, so I thought maybe she'll be all right. But then this morning I looked at her graph, and her rumination was at 0, so I knew something was up, so then I checked her
So a lot of people probably don't know. What do you mean you looked at her graph?
on the computer, like the collar.
Okay, but explain that a little bit. So all of our cattle have neck collars on. What do they show you?
Rumination and activity.
And then it comes back to, you have a laptop in the back of the barn, and then you monitor that every day. And you can notice like when they're in heat and then when their activity level drops. And then that's what triggered you to keep an eye on her.
Yeah, her rumination dropped. Maybe I'll show that there after I run it down.
What are you going to town for?
I need gas, and I need a gasket from something in the milk line, and a couple other things.
Chew?
No.
Lip candy?
No. Got some. Alright, so I'm going to show you the computer I got in the barn here that gets all the info from the collars on the cows. So the purple line is the rumination, and that is how to explain it. Basically, how much she's eating is the easiest way to explain it. It's really how much her stomach is turning over and ruminating and digesting food. Then the green line is activity. That's really the only two things it monitors, and this is that's actually the average. It's the average right now. So this shows like a pretty consistent basis of what it is. So you can see how this was her when she was dry. She was fine. She calved. She dropped off a bunch. That's very common, but typically you want to see that pop back up right away within 12 hours of calving, her, she was kind of down. She actually had milk fever a little bit. Treated her. She's coming up, doing better, popped down a little bit. Then she was doing good here for about 4 or 5 days. Then last night, she dropped off. She was about right there last night. So I separated her in the pen, gave her some dry hay and stuff. Then this morning, she would flatline. She was at 0. So without even checking her, I kind of had a pretty good idea she probably had a DA. Usually if they're just kind of sick and not eating a little bit, it'll be ruminating just a little bit. And usually that, we can give them some dry hay, give them some rumen pills to get their stomach going better. When they hit 0 like that, it's a pretty good sign it's a DA. Then I'll go to rumin. So this just has just rumination. You can see how it dips. And she was doing better, then it just taped off down to nothing. Then her activity kind of follows rumination. Her activity was still decent, but the activity is mostly for identifying heats. The rumination is kind of the big kicker. That's where you get a lot of your info from. So I just wanted to show you that. Sarah tried having me explain it, but that's a lot easier. So maybe in a couple of days here I'll show that graph again. Maybe you can see how it's coming. It should, most likely it'll come back up and be back to normal, and she should be on her way. With that, I gotta go get the girls from daycare here pretty quick. So yeah, we didn't show a lot of the actual surgery. I know with YouTube there's kind of a, you can't show blood or anything gory, which, whatever. You gotta kind of jump through their hoops, I guess. Maybe we could show it and be alright. I don't know, and not a big fan of videotaping someone else. I'm sure Jamie would be fine with it, but if there's a big push that people want to see that how it's actually done, maybe the next one will show the full surgery and in detail a little better. But so she had a DA, and Sarah was saying that, but what that actually means is a displaced abomasum. You can actually have an LDA or an RDA, which means left side or right side. Right side is more, I won't say, the right side is less common, I'd say, but it's very more deadly almost. Like if you don't take care of an RDA right away, they'll typically die within a couple days. LDA can linger around a while, and it kind of has the LDA, or the stomach will flip back and be all right a while. But she had an LDA, so it wasn't super major, but definitely needed to get taken care of. But what happened was that the abomasum is supposed to be on this, what's supposed to be on the right side gets flipped over to the left side of her. And how you can tell it, so you use a stethoscope, put your ear on her, you can flick her kind of in the stomach area, and you hear a ping. That's the gas that's built up in that stomach instead of feed, and it's pinched off, so the gas is building up in there. So what you do, you cut the hole in the right side, he reaches in there, gets the gas out, pulls that stomach back to the side it's supposed to be on, stitches that to the side of the stomach wall, and stitches it back up and seals it up, and that's typically how it is. There's other ways that people, I've never seen it in person, but I've seen on different shows and stuff where they can actually stitch a cow, like get her on the ground, stitch it from the outside and stand her up, and that stomach will stay there, but I've never seen it. But yeah, that's about all I got for that. Like I said, if people really want to see it, I'm not sure if there's, I guess I've never really seen a video on YouTube of a surgery like that, but I'm sure they're out there. If someone wants to see us do it, hopefully we don't have to do another one for quite a while. Like Sarah asked, we do, kind of depends on the year. The last couple of years we haven't done a lot. It's usually 4 or 5 a year typically. And we've had years we've done more. Kind of all depends on the feed that you're giving them. We started putting some dry hay, some longer stem dry hay in our ration. That really took a lot of that away, because more roughage in that diet to ruminate. But yeah, that's about all I got. So with that, I am gonna go get the girls. I gotta stop at the creamery quick to grab a couple things, and then get home for supper and do chores again. So yeah, well, thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. All right, hey everyone. So it's Sunday evening. Just finished up chores. And Sarah's working on this last video now, and she wanted me just to show you guys the cow we did the surgery on. I don't know if you can see the stitching, but she's doing pretty good. She's up and eating all the time. That's always a good sign that she's coming around. Her milk isn't quite back to where it should be yet, but that usually takes a little bit of time. But she should do just fine. So that about does it. Again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you later.